It's the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, AM 1250. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minnick. Stephen Jones joining us now from the Dallas Cowboys, brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. And, Stephen, let's start with the health of Michael Gallup. Word was he could have played last week, but mentally wasn't there. Will we see Michael Gallup on the field this week against Washington?
Well, I think he's got a great giving himself. Hello?
Yeah, we're here.
I'm echoing, I think. Hold on. Can you hear me better now?
We hear you great, yes.
I'm not going to be able to do it. It echoes.
All right, Edwin, why don't we try to reconnect with Stephen Jones and see if we can figure out what's going on with his phone line up there in Dallas. And so, Edwin, let us know when you get him back on and reconnected, and we'll go from there.
I've had that happen before. You dial somebody up, and it's like, hey, hello.
And it's annoying.
It's annoying as hell.
It
really
is annoying.
Yes.
There's nothing more annoying than when you've got an echo in your ear while trying to talk on the phone, especially when you're doing a radio interview. It's the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, AM 1250. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minnick. Let's talk to Stephen Jones of the Dallas Cowboys. We've reconnected. Stephen Jones joins us, brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. And after dealing with the echo in your ear, you could probably use a Miller Lite about now, couldn't you, Stephen?
I'm all good. I just didn't know if you were going to be able to hear me.
We can hear you fine, but I understand what a nightmare that is when that's going on. So let's kind of reset. We were asking and started with Michael Gallup and his status for the game coming up Sunday against Washington.
Well, I think Michael's given him a great opportunity to really come back early and play. That's one of the reasons we didn't put him on the designated to return list. And obviously, if he's able to play this week, which we, barring a setback, think he has a great opportunity. Thought he had a shot last week, but I think he really feels good about this week, and it'd be great to get him back out on the field to go along with what C.D. Lamb's doing, Noah, and some of the rest of the crew are doing. And, the other positive thing is we should get Schultz back as well. So we're thinking positive about that. You won't know for sure till they get out there. They had a good day of practice today with no setbacks, so hopefully it'll continue in that direction.
Stephen, when you were talking about Michael Gallup, and physically, he said he was okay, felt like he could have played last week, but it was the mental side of things that he just wasn't ready for. As a team, how do you handle a player like that, and what do you do to get a guy mentally ready to get back on the field?
That's all part of his rehab process, and I think we got the best in the business. Britt Brown heads up the rehab side of what we do back there. Jim Mowers, obviously our head trainer overall, but I just think between the two of them, they're the best in the business. They certainly work with these guys and do things the right way, come along at the right paces. And part of it is, to be candid with you, is the mental part that the player feels good about getting out there. And we all know what a contact sport the NFL is, so your mind has to be in it. You have to feel good about it. You have to understand people are going to be out there trying to make plays on you. So I think that's so important, and I think they've done a great job with Michael, as they have with other players who have had to come back from a major injury. And I think they've done a great job here. And it was important that Michael feel good about going out there, and I think he does. And, certainly look forward to having him back. He can bring so much to the table for this offense.
Stephen Jones joining us here on the Blitz, brought to you by Miller Lite. Stephen, the defense last week against New York and really all year gives this team an opportunity to win. Nice to see Tank Lawrence getting a couple of sacks. You see Carson Wentz got sacked 9 times last week. In your the office talk, how many sacks do you think the Cowboys get this Sunday against Washington?
Well, I don't want to cut Tank short. First of all, I think he had 3 sacks. A couple to me means 2. He works so hard, and he just gives it all every time he's out there. I know he worked through a little injury himself there while he was getting those 3 sacks, but certainly I know when you have a game, like I'm sure Wentz had with that sack total, people find a way of figuring out how to correct that. So we're going to have our hands full against these Commanders, and know that they'll be know what our strengths are, and I know they'll be prepared for us. So it'll be a challenge out there, but certainly our defense has shown week in and week out so far this year that we're going to get pressure on the quarterback. We're going to hit the quarterback and certainly sack the quarterback. So, that's going to be a big part of what we're about this year as a football team. And I feel like that's part of our identity. The one thing we hadn't done, which I know, Dan is thinking about, as well as knowing all our players on defense, we got to take the ball away like we did last year. We got to get more takeaways, and certainly hope on the offensive side we keep coming together as a unit, getting in the rhythm and playing with the right play style. And but the one good thing we did last week is we protected the ball as well. And it's not the one good thing; it was among many. We did protect the ball, and Cooper's done a great job, and hopefully he'll be able to do that again this week.
Stephen, let's talk about that, because I noticed something in the Giants game. After Barkley had that long run for a touchdown, the Giants take the lead. It seemed like your offense just clicked or went into a different gear, and they just started making plays and just driving up and down the field. Did you notice that? And what does that tell you anything at all moving forward?
Well, I just hope we're getting, and know we are, we're getting better as a unit. And, we had some injuries there to start the year, obviously missing Tyron Smith from the get-go and having to move Tyler over there, the last week of training camp when he'd been playing left guard, all throughout the offseason. You'd like your offensive line to have the continuity and to be able to play together, but hats off to them. We lose Connor McGovern, and Farniok has stepped in. Certainly, Peters played there a little bit. We think we're going to have Connor McGovern back this week. So I do think we're getting better, and I think we'll continue to get better as an offense. I think we're running the ball really well. I thought we were optimal last week in terms of our touches. I think Zeke had 15 and Pollard had 13, and, that's a great mix. And I want to continue to mix that run in. I think we were right at 50-50 run pass. And, if anything, we want to run the ball maybe a little more than we throw it. But, I just think we're going to continue to improve. And certainly we know we can have a good offense. We know what we did last year statistically, but we think we can be a better offense and really play complementary football to this defense that we have, and hopefully continue to get better as a team.
You mentioned Peters. Do you expect him to play more Sunday against Washington than he did playing for the Cowboys for the first time on that Monday night game against New York?
Well, it was great to get him in there, and we're going to continue to get him, in the playing shape that he needs to be in to play a full game if we need him to do that. But it's great to have him in the room. He's brought great leadership, to the room. Our players respect him. It'll be great to have Connor McGovern back there too, playing at that left guard spot. So, as I said, we continue to get better as a team. We're getting players healthy. I think the only one I hadn't mentioned is Curse has certainly got a chance to make it back this week as well. We'll see how his week goes, but it's great to have Peters out there and all he can bring to the table. And I do think we're, getting back to full strength in terms of that offensive line. Obviously, we still won't have Tyron Smith for weeks, but we have him coming as well. So not many teams are fortunate enough to have to have that type of depth in the offensive line. So we're feeling good about that.
Absolutely. Stephen Jones, always appreciate the time. We'll talk to you next week. Good luck Sunday against Washington.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Stephen Jones, brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys.